Well, there's no market for anyone but Boots next because there's no other options. Like, if Vergil doesn't fight Boots, Boots is probably going to fight Josh Kelly in a title unification fight, which is a very easy fight to make for Matchroom. Sebastian Fundora is penciled in for a title defense sometime in the fall. First fight of his PBC on DAZN contract. He's not going to be available the rest of this.
Chris Mannix argues that Jaron "Boots" Ennis would have little choice against Vergil Ortiz, but that assessment has fueled one of boxing's most heated debates. Fighters and experienced trainers remain divided over whether Ennis would control the matchup, or Ortiz could silence his critics with a statement performance.
This next fight, like we reported last week on the show, there were some talks with Fundora.
Meanwhile, Robert Garcia continues to back Ortiz, believing his fighter possesses the right stylistic attributes to compete effectively with Ennis. Garcia feels the matchup works in Ortiz's favor and expects his key strengths to ultimately determine the outcome if the two fighters meet.
I could become the next big superstar also, but look, I have Vergil in the same weight division, so obviously we have to also push for that, you know, because I believe Vergil beats him. I think Vergil hits him, Vergil knocks him out. So it's hopefully Boots doesn't take that Fundora fight, because, you know, we can still make the fight, but coming off a loss might not be that interesting. I want him to be a...
Similarly, Max Kellerman considers a matchup with Ennis the defining challenge of Ortiz's career. Although he believes Ortiz has already distinguished himself from the majority of the division, Kellerman says defeating Ennis would demand the most complete performance Ortiz has ever produced.
Just another good contender.
Yeah.
He's better than that. We don't know if he's going to be a great fighter. If, in order to beat Boots, he has to be more than just better than the rest of the pack. He has to have a little another gear. That's what I mean by we really do think a lot of Boots, right?
And he ain't seen, another thing is like Vergil hasn't seen anything like Boots yet. But I think Boots has certain guys are similar to...
Sergio Mora believes the repeated delays have dramatically altered the path toward an Ennis versus Ortiz matchup. In his view, extended periods of inactivity introduce too much uncertainty and make it harder to maintain the momentum needed to keep a fight of this scale moving forward.
Vergil needs to remind people again, and guess what that means? He's gonna have to fight one more fight before we get the Boots fight. This is what this hiatus, this legal hiatus caused. And this is why boxing can never really strike when the iron is hot. Because sometimes when this happens, something happens where one fighter looks bad, a cut delays something, an injury delays it even longer, or God forbid he loses.
From Oleg Naji's point of view, the obstacles preventing an Ennis versus Ortiz showdown have largely disappeared. Considering the recent developments within both camps, he believes there are now very few barriers to getting the bout finalized. He sees the matchup as one of the most significant title fights boxing could produce.
I heard Vergil Ortiz and Oscar De La Hoya patch things up, so Vergil and Boots is the fight to make now, and it's a world title fight. That was my only gripe when they were talking about it before, was this fight deserves a world championship. These guys are so good, they deserve a world championship. So I do think that that's the fight to make now. Vergil Ortiz and Boots Ennis, there's no excuse not to make it. If Vergil patch things up with his promoter, Boots looks phenomenal in his fight with Zayas. There is now 2 world championships on the line because Boots brings the world titles to the table. This is the fight to make him.
Sean Porter takes a closer look at the distinct ways both fighters create their attacks. Instead of measuring them only by their speed or punching power, he points out that each fighter uses those qualities through a different approach. Porter believes that stylistic contrast could become a significant factor when the two eventually face one another.
I think Ortiz has a call on his speed. You know what I mean by that?
No.
So what I mean by call on his speed, like, you have guys who are just fluidly boom, 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 boom. And then you got other guys like Ortiz, fights with a lot of power, but now I gotta pull back on his power and set you up with the speed. You know, like he has to be intentional and be selective with what he chooses to punch with. And on the other side, Boots is like water, man. He goes from the speed to the power. He goes from the left to the right.
The leverage.
He goes, he switch hits, you know.
More athletic.
Yeah.
just defense.
While evaluating the matchup, Timothy Bradley highlights Ennis's natural instincts as a key reason he believes in his chances. Bradley says Ennis's ability to respond instinctively during exchanges makes him particularly challenging to figure out. In his assessment, that unpredictability stands among Ennis's biggest advantages.
One of the best counterpunchers in the game. That's why Boots is so damn dangerous. Because he get hit and then he's still landing at the same damn time. He punching in between punches. He's slipping punches and countering. He's making all this stuff up as he going because he just off a feel. Yeah, off a feel. Just, oh, I could do that. I could do this. I could do that. Just off a feel. Yes. Some fighters, that's what they do. That's how they operate inside the ring. Right? See, Ortiz KOs Boots in 5 rounds? Nah.
Timothy Bradley also identifies several stylistic details that could influence how the matchup unfolds. He draws attention to their differences in distance, defensive tendencies, and offensive options, believing each could become important once the action begins. For Bradley, those contrasting tactical elements are what make the potential fight particularly compelling.
Way longer than him. Reach. Boots can set up shop further out, away from Vergil. Vergil uses the high guard as a primary defense. Boots punches through that, punches around that. Set lateral traps up on him. Vergil's one-dimensional. Yes, one-dimensional, dog, for real. One dimension is not gonna beat a whirlwind of dimensions. It's not. Now, he might get lucky and land a hard shot and hurt him. And then maybe finish him, but we can sit here and we say, but what if, but what if, but what if, but what if, but what if? We can say all of that, but I personally don't see it happening. I don't. It's gonna be a lot of heat, flaming heat coming at Vergil, for real.
Meanwhile, Sean Zittel anticipates a high-energy battle, noting that both fighters possess the speed and ability to excel during exchanges. He believes the key will be determining which man can maintain control of the strategy throughout the contest. From his perspective, staying technically sound could matter just as much as delivering offensive firepower.
That's crazy, bro.
I'm just saying.
I don't know, man.
Come on, Zytel.
I'm not sure. I don't know.
Hurt our feelings, man. Be the what is it? The dude for Christmas?
The bearer of bad news.
The Scrooge.
Yeah, be the Scrooge. Be the Grinch.
Come on.
I got it.
Yeah.
Well, hey, here's the thing. I think there was some PR spin from Team Ortiz on Fight Week. They threw a little bit of cold water on the fight. They did a little bit of, well, wait a minute. We already tried to fight you, and you turned it down. So we have that in our pocket. Like we could go bar for bar, but, and be like, well, technically we have one in our pocket that allows us to walk away from the table and go, well, we did try to make it first. And I think what's going on though is Eddie has long-term plans for Jaron Ennis in the United States.
Coach Bredman views Ortiz as one of the toughest stylistic challenges Ennis could encounter. He believes the differences between their approaches set up a highly intriguing tactical contest that could shape the way their exchanges develop. For Bredman, those finer stylistic contrasts are precisely what make the potential matchup so captivating.
Stylistically, to me, the hardest fight for Boots is Vergil Ortiz. That's my honest opinion. Vergil Ortiz, Boots got them long, kind of like gangly arms, right? And sometimes he load up a little bit, and Vergil Ortiz punch short and compact, right in the mid-range on the inside, right where Boots like it. And in exchanges, Vergil Ortiz, I don't think he's as fast as Boots for like combinations of punches, but I do think that if Boots is throwing single shots, that Vergil's short, compact punches can get there. Because one thing Vergil don't play like Boots play. Boots sometimes put his hands down, he lean back, he do all kinds of stuff.
Roll the shots.
Yeah, Boots does a lot of stuff where Vergil kind of just stays in one place and just fires right from where he's at. So in my opinion, I still think Boots can beat Vergil.
From another perspective, Teddy Atlas sees an Ennis versus Ortiz matchup as a fight with all the necessary elements for a memorable showdown. He points to the confidence and competitive drive both fighters possess, while noting that Ortiz has continued expanding his skill set over the years. According to Atlas, that ongoing evolution only adds another layer to the stylistic intrigue surrounding the potential fight.
it'll be, you know, it could be a phone booth fight. Two good body punches, two confident guys, you know, two guys with great heart. I mean, look, I say this, Vergil showed me a few fights ago that he had a dimension I didn't know he had. When he was just, you know, going through guys, knocking them out with body shots, sinking and destroying. I don't think I knew or anyone knew that he had the ability to use his legs and box and do some boxing. He showed me that dimension. He showed me that dimension in that fight that some people thought he lost. First fight that he got tested. More than just, you know, seek and destroy. And that would be an interest. And then, of course, the giant.
Heading into a possible bout with Ortiz, Ennis's defensive discipline remains a major area of concern. Terrence Crawford believes Ortiz's finishing power leaves very little room for mistakes, which makes responsible defense especially important. He suggests that Ennis's ability to combine his natural attacking instincts with more calculated choices could become one of the central factors determining how the fight unfolds.
He did the last time, Ortiz gonna finish him.
Wow.
So he gotta tighten up his defense.
10 steps behind you, right?
He gotta tighten up his defense. He gotta stop exchanging. I know he's faster than most. He's more explosive than most, but at the same time, he's shown in the past that he can get careless and that he's going out there just to fight, you know, and I don't think when you get higher and higher, that's going to be enough.
Zab Judah applauds Ortiz for pursuing the toughest challenge available to him. He sees that willingness to go after the champion as the kind of mentality expected from a top-level fighter. For Judah, Ortiz's readiness to accept the danger involved only increases the importance of a matchup that continues to gain momentum.
You're willing to take on the biggest and the best. This is what, as a fighter, this is what you're supposed to say. No matter what happens, you go, okay, he was cool, he was dominant. I'm not gonna look at that factor. I'm gonna get myself in the best condition I could be in. I'm gonna get the work that I can get, and I'm gonna be the best guy that I can be for that night. So Vergil's comment and where he's at, push the fight and make the fight happen. This is what great fighters do. Great fighters push fights and make fights happen. Look, he's not cherry picking. We gotta respect Vergil on that. He's trying to go right at the champ. He's trying to get his opportunity and shine off it. Win, lose, or draw, he's still calling it out. So you gotta respect him for that.
Zab Judah applauds Ortiz for pursuing the toughest challenge available to him. He sees that willingness to go after the champion as the kind of mentality expected from a top-level fighter. For Judah, Ortiz's readiness to accept the danger involved only increases the importance of a matchup that continues to gain momentum.
That's gonna be a hell of a fight, you know, but I think that helped Boots too, though. I think that helped him learn, you know what I'm saying? Like, he know that this kid probably a little bit better version of Xander. And yeah, so, you know, Boots gonna tighten up. He's gonna tighten up. He's gonna tighten up. And while that's a good fight, I'm still favoring Boots.
Bernie the boxer recognizes Ortiz's strengths and does not expect either team to take the matchup lightly. With the attention surrounding a fight of this size continuing to increase, he believes both camps will need to elevate their preparation and focus closely on every detail. Those changes could ultimately influence the way the contest plays out.
Come on now. Now Vergil, he good. Come on, we know that. We know he's good. You know, he got a good bounce. He got a good jab,
he
too.
lost to Boachuk as well, you know?
Okay. Well, I mean, that's like I'm saying, you know, that was that fight. This is on to the next fight, you know. Maybe he didn't take Boachuk that serious, you know. Maybe he was believing his hype too much. But, you know, going there with a Boots, he going to be real sharp. And Boots going to be real sharp, you know. Boots, you know, everybody coming for his head now. You know, he got a target on his back. And, you know, they're going to go into the dungeon and tighten up some things. And I have no doubt about that, and I'm favoring the kid.
Gary Russell sees Ortiz as a disciplined and demanding opponent, though he does not consider the challenge completely unfamiliar territory for Ennis. If the matchup happens, Russell expects Ennis to draw heavily from what he has learned in earlier performances, especially when dealing with an opponent who fights with structure and consistency. He believes those adaptations could have a major impact on the course of.
He's got pop in both hands. Stylistic wise, I feel like he has a good style. He has a typical style, to be honest, you know, but just like Xander, he's obedient. He's not going to deviate and try to do nothing flashy for the crowd. He's going to go there and get the job done. But I feel like he would be too flat-footed for Boots. He would be too slow of a pace for Boots. Boots, at this point, he's going to go look back at this fight with him and Xander and see where he went wrong. And by the time he fights somebody like Ortiz, he'll fix the problem by then. You know, so Ortiz, yes, he got a puncher's chance. You know, he come in shape, he's obedient, just as Xander was. But Boots, he got the ability to pull away from this guy and beat him in great fashion. You know, that will be another great-ass fight, hands down.
Facts. Who do you feel like is a bigger test for Boots? The 6'4" Tower Inferno?
From another perspective, Gary Russell considers Ennis's versatility a crucial element in a possible matchup with Ortiz. He expects Ennis to adapt his approach appropriately before facing an opponent of Ortiz's caliber. In Russell's assessment, the overall stylistic interaction between the two fighters could matter more than individual moments from their past performances.
To be honest, now you got this other guy Ortiz saying that he'll knock Boots out. One thing about Boots is that he's versatile. He is very versatile. Now, yeah, you probably have kinks in his armor still, because before the fight even happened, I posted a video. I said, man, look, I'm going with Boots. Xander, he's a tough contender. He's strong. He's eager. He's not going to deviate from the game plan. But Boots, he just freakishly good when it comes to his God-given talent, athleticism, and stuff like that. That's what's going to win him over the fight. But he got to not get hit with a hook. That's what he got hurt with. I saw it based off of the styles. Now, when you talk about styles and the kinks that's in each other's armor, Boots, I feel like being matched up against Ortiz, that hook is not going to catch.
Some analysts expect a one-sided contest instead. Greg Hackett doubts that Ortiz possesses enough to seriously challenge Ennis throughout the bout, arguing that the stylistic matchup strongly benefits the champion. He also feels the previous negotiation history has reinforced his belief, making his prediction among the most confident assessments so far.
7th round. Here's the thing though. Xander's a better fighter than Vergil. Vergil's easy. Vergil's gonna get his ass beat bad. I'm telling you, Boots is gonna torture him. Because you know why? It's not even because of the styles. It's because all the shit you did in Texas. You act like you was gonna fight me, and then you got out the ring and you said that Earl Spence was your dream fight. He's full of shit. Boots is gonna crush him, bro. I'm telling you. It's gonna get bad for I hope that fight happens. I hope the fight happens. Vergil is gonna get a rude awakening. It's gonna get bad for Vergil. Real bad.
Eddie Hearn still considers an Ennis versus Ortiz matchup one of boxing's most appealing fights. Although he recognizes the financial and commercial value it could generate, Hearn indicates that Ennis's broader career plans involve more than simply securing one lucrative payday. Even with those priorities in mind, he continues to view Ennis against Ortiz as one of the sport's most fascinating potential matchups.
Vergil Ortiz, outstanding fighter. That for me is one of the best fights in boxing. You've only got to listen to me 6 months ago talking about that fight, pushing that fight, trying everything. That's a wonderful fight, but Vergil doesn't have anything that Boots wants other than a big fight and a good payday. He's not chasing paydays, he's chasing legacy. But there's still a lot of people that want to watch that.
Regis Prograis offers another perspective on the potential matchup. While acknowledging Ennis's technical skills, he believes Ortiz brings a physical intensity and determination that could become difficult to ignore. Prograis suggests the outcome may ultimately hinge on whether the contest stays focused on tactical boxing or develops into a much more physical battle.
Now, Vergil's looking, he's just looking strong. You just know, of course, skills do pay the bills, and I think Boots has really, really good skills, but Vergil is a monster. He's just a dog, you know. Sometimes, and at the end of the day, like, this boxing, but sometimes it is a fight. You know, if Boots turns that into a fight like that, and sometimes, well, not Boots, if Vergil turns into a fight, you know, sometimes I think that he might come out victorious.
Robert Garcia, however, sees several important areas where the style matchup could work in Ortiz's favor. Although he acknowledges Ennis's toughness and overall ability, Garcia identifies certain habits in Ennis's approach that he believes could become especially important if the two fighters eventually face each other.
Just like I'll tell you, I feel like Vergil knocks out Boots.
Vergil knocks him out.
I think
How many rounds, Robert?
When he lands.
It could be 1 to 12, any of those.
I think.
Why do you say that? No, I agree.
Yeah. And Boots has heart, man. He's from Philadelphia, but I think that's also something that could not help him, you know, because he has heart and he'll fight. He has heart for him.
Gabe Rosado and Shady Maki continue to disagree over how the matchup would unfold. Rosado considers the two fighters too closely matched to confidently favor either one, whereas Shady Maki believes Ennis has a more obvious route to victory. Their opposing views highlight just how challenging it is to predict the outcome of this potential fight.
50-50, yo, take it, not for the fight.
Me, because
I don't think it's 50.
It ain't no 50-50. Yeah, kidding me? Boots is something different.
He likes to fight in the pocket, so he's going to give Vergil opportunities to land that body shot.
But what if he? But wait, real quick.
But then it goes on the other side too.
And this is what I was saying about Mason, yo. We say that because we see Boots. But what if, you know what? Boots say, no, we ain't doing that this fight.
Because Boots,
that's not how what I'm saying is, if Boots want to go on there and just box Vergil,
yeah,
he can win easy. He can win easy like that. So we say that because the way
no, I don't know about that. Wait, hold on. You're assuming you can box against Vergil, that Vergil can't do anything to turn it into a dog.
Chris Algieri offers a more cautious assessment of the potential bout. Although he believes Ortiz is capable of competing with the best fighters in the division, Algieri points to his recent inactivity as a major question mark ahead of such a significant fight. He also believes the sharp contrast in their styles makes the matchup particularly difficult to predict.
Vergil, the inactivity really worries me because you got sharks circling, and Jaron, with the level of talent, he can beat anybody on any given night. So if they all fight each other, I don't think anybody stays undefeated. So even trying to rank people, just because they're all so different. You know, you got Boots, who's a fluid, side switching, counter punching, killer puncher. You got Vergil, who's a two-fisted destroyer, comes to get.
Baumax adds another layer to the discussion by arguing that the division's top fighters are separated by extremely narrow differences, leaving no obvious favorite. Each contender possesses a unique collection of strengths, and Baumax believes those contrasting qualities could create closely contested battles whenever these leading names eventually meet.
I think it's a 50-50 across the board, you know, because when you look at Vergil, and when he get guys hurt, like maybe Boots was hurt, you know, he finished them off. You look at Findor with the range and the height he got, you know, even though he'd been beat before, since then he's just been cleaning them up. And so we all waiting to see, you know, when those 2 or 3, you know, like the 4 kings, when they tangle. So we, you know.
After considering both sides of the argument, one point is becoming harder to overlook. Regardless of whether Ennis enters as the favorite, many see Ortiz as the most significant test of his career. If Ennis wants to eliminate the remaining doubts surrounding him, this could be the challenge he needs to accept next. Share your prediction in the comments, and if you enjoyed the breakdown, remember to like, subscribe, and enable notifications for more boxing analysis.